От всего сердца поздравляю вас.
Well, that's a side of Vladimir Putin we don't see very often. The Russian president reciting poetry on International Women's Day. The poem, written by a well-known Soviet and Russian author, praises women for their beauty, wit, and morality. Women's Day was marked in many ways around the world today, including this unprecedented demonstration in Spain today, where thousands of women staged a 24-hour strike. The labor stoppage getting off to a noisy start with a midnight pot-banging protest in Madrid. Those taking part in the walkout were calling for an end to unfair wages and a tougher stand against domestic violence in Spain, where 99 women were killed by their partners last year. As the sun came up, hundreds of women brought traffic to a standstill while waving flags provided by some of the country's largest unions. Public transit and air traffic were also impacted by the labor stoppage, which emptied out offices across the country. In Turkey, women take to the streets with their hands bound, calling for freedom for those who have been thrown into prison in neighboring Syria. The Syrian regime has denied allegations of systemic torture, but the organizers of today's demonstrations say more than 7,000 women and girls are currently behind bars, where they've been subjected to torture and rape since Syria's civil war began 7 years ago. Meanwhile, women in Saudi Arabia are celebrating a newfound right, the freedom to jog in the streets.
The time is here and now.
While the country certainly has a long way to go when it comes to equal rights, new reforms brought in last year have granted women the right to drive, go to the movies, and take part in other public activities.
We're extremely blessed that we have this ability to go out and run in the streets. We couldn't do that a few months ago even. We're very honored, we're happy, we feel like we belong.
In the U.S., about 100 McDonald's restaurants literally turned things upside down to celebrate International Women's Day. Now, the movement even spread to the company's Twitter account. You can see here the M turned into a W, and on the company's Instagram page. Now, the restaurant says that 62% of its workforce are women, and 6 out of every 10 restaurant managers are also women.